This April on Patreon, a family moves to Russia for freedom? And how legit is the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight? New bonus content every week, plus everything you missed when you support The Habit at patreon.com/dosabuckley. I've said before that the mark of a good social commentary writer is to know what you don't know, so you can avoid sounding like a complete and utter mouth breather when talking about certain topics. Oh, why don't you try that sometime, Buckley? Yeah, I know, but I'm going to tell you right now that I don't know a lot about today's topic. But sometimes ignorance is bliss. So, like 10 years ago, this thing called GamerGate happened. To this day, I still don't really know who Anita Sarkeesian is. Was she good? Bad? I don't know. I never talked about it then because I didn't care. Wikipedia says that the movement, if it was such a thing, happened around 2014 and was about protecting the gamer identity. You know what I was too busy doing to worry about that? Playing video games. GTA 5 came out that year. There was a new Mario Golf, Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros. 3D, Hyrule Warriors, infamous Second Son, South Park Stick of Truth. I think I found out about Rogue Legacy that year. But yeah, sorry, all the real gamers were spending their time fighting with people on Reddit or some shit, while lame wads like me were wasting their time playing video games like some filthy casual. Anyway, 10 years have passed, gamers love nostalgia sequels, and so, we're apparently right in the middle of GamerGate 2. Again, I'm admitting I don't know every little thing about this, which I think is actually going to make my point for me in a few minutes, but to really simplify it, the internet discovered there's this company called Sweet Baby Inc. They're a consulting company that a bunch of game devs have hired to help make their games less white and male. And you know who this really upsets? Black trans women? Native pansexual they-thems? Asian dwarves? No. It upsets white men. Here's what the website says they do. Founded in 2018, Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. Yeah, everyone but me, Johnny Straight White. So anyway, they've been accused of basically ruining the gaming industry with the, 8 games they've worked on that anyone would know, including Spider-Man 2, which was a fantastic game, by the way, but there was an optional 6-minute side quest where you play as a deaf black girl, so actually the game was junk. Alan Wake 2, more like Alan Woke 2. It won a bunch of awards, but I guess it actually sucked. God of War Ragnarok. The entire game was ruined because they put a black girl in it for whatever reason. And Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which sucked for entirely different reasons than the writing. Listen, I get it. I get the argument. I hear you and I understand you. Shoehorning in diversity, like putting a black character in God of War, specifically just to make the game relatable to black people, should probably be insulting to black people. Buy our game! We jammed one of you into Norse mythology! It's lazy writing. But if it actually upsets you, if you feel attacked by this, the Mayo Clinic has this great article on dealing with thin skin that I think you should read. But it's not just Sweet Baby. Yes, there's a push by many companies to do the absolute bare minimum to include people who aren't straight white dudes in gaming. Because, and we'll get to it in a second, people do like being represented in games. Last year, Starfield included the option to choose they, them, as well as he, him, or she, her, as your pronoun. Some bald guy had a meltdown over it and became a meme. I played Starfield. I played as a white male with the pronouns he, him. The 2 male companions could be romanced by a male character. I simply chose not to, while I did in fact romance the 2 female companions, making them straight in my playthrough. No wokeness experienced on my end. I recently played the 2022 Saints Row game, Saints Woke, the one that was written off right off the bat because the trailer showed a diverse cast of Gen Z-esque characters. as opposed to the old game that was a diverse cast of millennials. Anyway, guess what I played as? A straight white dude who shot my way through every mission and was rewarded heavily for it. But yes, white guys like to be white guys in games. Larian released Baldur's Gate 3 last year to high praise. It's a game based in the world of Dungeons & Dragons that has a character creation system that lets you choose between a bunch of different races, species. You can make yourself a big purple dragon man with horns and a tail. Larian looked at the data and took the most popular choices across all players and generated a character based on it, just for fun, and wanna guess what it was? A white human male. Fucking Jerry Generic over here. So, whether we want to admit it or not, white dudes do get that representation in gaming matters, because it clearly matters to us. Whenever given the chance, white male gamers want to play as white male characters. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, given that information, maybe you can understand why someone might say, well, maybe black women might like to play a video game where they're a black woman. Hence, something like the existence of Forspoken, a game which should not upset you if it's not something you're interested in playing. You should just play one of the, let's see here, according to Statista, over 13,000 indie games and 181 major studio titles released last year. And that was just on Steam. That won't include Nintendo or PlayStation exclusives. So add like 6 more to that total. But anyway, you couldn't possibly have time to play every game released in a year, not even the major releases. And yet, you focus on the ones that bother you for some reason. Why? Just don't play them. Don't buy them. Vote with your wallet. Let the free market take care of it. Or, let the free market prove you wrong, I guess. Like, you know how you hate microtransactions? I know you do. I know I do. I've never heard a single person on social media go, you know what my favorite part of spending $70 on a game is? Paying more for in-game currency to buy a bunch of bullshit. Well, EA's latest soccer game, EAFC 24, made more money than FIFA 23, despite selling fewer copies. You know how that happened? Because many people that did buy the game played the Ultimate Team mode, which requires you to spend real money to buy digital cards. EA made $1.7 billion on live service revenue last year. I bring that up because that's another opinion a bunch of people online have that makes no difference in the real world. If you ask 10,000 Twitter users if they think live service microtransaction games are good, I bet you'd get a 90% no. And yet, they generated $1.7 billion for one company, because those people aren't on Twitter. They're on their Xboxes pissing their money away. The point I'm making is that Twitter isn't a real place. The opinions expressed there do not reflect those of real human beings living their fucking lives, for better or worse. Now, I know some of you are thinking, wow, Buckley doesn't know shit about all this. This is a real problem, and it's ruining gaming. No, giant unrecoverable budgets, rushed unfinished releases, and shareholders telling developers how to make their games, that is what's ruining gaming. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is the woke shit. Maybe I'm naive and ignorant. Maybe, but I'll tell you right now, I'm a much happier gamer than you. Flipping around as Spider-Man, not giving a shit what anyone's saying about it online. But you can't just ignore it. It won't go away. They'll keep putting woke shit in games because they want to indoctrinate kids. So, for years, we've argued that violent video games don't make people violent. But now, what? You're worried woke games will make people woke? Tell you what, if you're worried that them sticking a gay character in a game will make you gay, you were already gay, my friend. Go buy some lube. You don't have to live the lie anymore. And yeah, I can see those comments now. Oh, another Buckley video about the culture war where he's basically saying you should touch grass. No, I'm not saying that at all. If anything, I want you to touch plastic. I want you to put your phones down and just play a video game. Just play it. Don't read articles about it from Kotaku. Stop reading gaming journalism altogether. Don't watch any YouTube deep dives on it. Don't try and figure out which consulting firm worked on it. Just plant your ass in your favorite chair, pick up your controller, press start, and stop fucking worrying about anything other than, am I having fun? If you're not, play something else. And if you really can't get over it, then play one of the thousands of games released in the last 10, 15 years that you've never played. The ones before Sweet Baby was born. Don't open the GamerGate. Leave it closed. And I promise, the big bad forced diversity won't be able to get you. Ignore it. It's not real. It's just a story they made up to scare the terminally online. You can't die from DEI.